Today I'd like to discuss arrogance and how it plagues the tech field. A lot of technicians who deal with customers feel that arrogance is necessary because we often have to make explanations to people that they don't want to hear. We don't work at Six Flags where we're selling people the idea of going on a bunch of cool rides. We don't work at a jeweler where you're going to walk out with a nice diamond ring. We don't work at Olive Garden where your family goes to have a beautiful nice dinner and leaves all happy. No, we work at a repair shop where we take the same piece of shit device that you were already used to having and we tell you it's going to be $100 or $200 or $300 to have that same piece of shit device back. Nothing new, nothing fun. And anybody with any sense of a brain is going to have the instinct to keep that money in their wallet because they don't want to spend money to get back the exact same shit that they already had. And even if they know rationally that they broke it, they're just not going to want to spend money to get back the same thing. So they're going to poke holes in your story. They're going to tell you that you broke something while trying to fix it. They're going to tell you that you're trying to upsell them or screw them in some way. And you're going to need to be able to confidently explain to them why that is not the case. And a lot of people fall short. So they have to resort to poor man's confidence, which I call arrogance. Arrogance is the idea that you are amazing, that you know everything, that you are so much smarter than everybody else, that you are so much better than everybody else, and that everybody else is just so much further below you and beneath you, and that they just don't know as much as you. They're probably never going to know as much as you, and you're just the shit. And a lot of the times, sadly, this actually works because they're professing the idea that they know everything, and they're getting that idea back to their customer. And then their customer will feel confident in what it is they have to say. There are several problems with arrogance that I want to discuss with this video, through example and through theory. The first and the biggest problem that I find with arrogance is that people who are arrogant, or people who act a certain way just to get through a situation, they often don't turn that off in their personal life. Great example, pro wrestling. I was talking about this with my friend Jake the other day. Ric Flair is a really funny and amazing and cool guy in wrestling. And a lot of the reason this funny stuff happens that you see in the news with him, we believe, is because he doesn't turn off his gimmick when he leaves wrestling. He's still that guy. And, the same thing happens with arrogance. You believe all that crap and you act it so that your customer believes you, but then you're done with work and you're still kind of that guy because you've had to be that guy for 8 or 10 hours a day for 5 to 7 days a week. It's hard to just turn it off once you've made that your personality. And if you already know everything, then why is anybody going to try to teach you anything? Why would anybody share an idea with you? Especially if you're always challenging others on how little they know compared to you. Nobody's ever going to want to talk to you about any of these ideas. So what happens? Let me tell you what my old boss, Sam Field, said about arrogance. He said that everything that he's learned in his life, he learned through never being afraid to admit just how stupid he was. I learned this when I was 17 years old, and I carry that saying to this day. Most of what I've learned is because I've never been afraid to admit just how stupid I am. The problem with arrogance is that you are always saying that you know everything and challenging others. Therefore, nobody else is ever going to feel like they have an opportunity to teach you something, meaning that you will never have an opportunity to learn from somebody else. This will keep you ignorant. If you're ignorant in a vast variety of different subjects, then you will be dumb. If you are dumb, you will fail in business. And then you will fail in life. I don't want to fail in life, and I don't want to fail in business. Therefore, I don't want to be dumb. Therefore, I don't want to be ignorant. Therefore, I don't want to be arrogant. I have learned so much from just taking ideas from anybody who's willing to give them to me. I am never afraid to admit that I don't know something. I'm not afraid to be in the room with with 2 recording clients that are paying $3,000 a day to use this room and admit I have no idea what this thing on the wall does. I don't. Because if I say that, now somebody may point out to me what that thing does. And it's really that simple. I don't mind not knowing something because it allows me an opportunity to learn. Then you have the second problem with arrogance, is that arrogance breeds more arrogance. Arrogant people are often arrogant out of their own personal insecurity. They're insecure so they cannot project confidence. They cannot project confidence onto the customer, so they become arrogant. Now, arrogant people also challenge others constantly. So if you challenge somebody who is insecure about himself, he is not going to respond with a sense of confidence. He is going to respond with the same arrogance. So now you've brought out the arrogance in somebody else. And this very quickly spreads through an organization until everybody in the organization is arrogant. And then the problem is now you have an organization of 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 people that have completely closed themselves off to the real world and closed themselves off to every other idea. And I've been to businesses where I wonder, how the fuck do you people operate this way? And how do you all have the same thought? Well, a year later when they go out of business, I go, oh, okay, now I get it. You don't operate that way, and now you don't operate at all. Arrogance is very dangerous to the company culture at a small business because arrogance is the first brick towards building a wall towards every other idea. Ideas are what we use to make money. You turn ideas into money, and once you become arrogant, you put up a wall between you and making more money. I don't want to do that. Now let me show you a couple of places where arrogance may manifest itself in the real world in real shops. You'll see people call devices pieces of shit. Great example. iPod Touch. Piece of shit. People will say, you cannot get one of these for screen replacement without getting a frame that looks something like this. And when you have something that looks like that, the new screen just doesn't fit in the way that it's supposed to. Now, if you're arrogant, you'll just go, oh, that thing's a fucking piece of shit. It's cheap anyway. You can't make much money off of it. Why do we fix these? Piece of shit. And they'll say, we don't fix it because it's a piece of shit. That'll be their official stance. Or they'll fix it, do a half-assed job, and then go, the iPod Touch is a piece of shit. This is the best we can do. You can live with it. What the non-arrogant technician will do is figure out how to properly Dremel and bang the frame out so that it will fit, and then fix it properly. Or change up the adhesive that they're using. Or figure out some way to make this shit work so that they can charge money. I've heard people say that about the MacBook Air. I've heard them say, that thing's a piece of shit the way the lid is constructed, we can't fix it, I'm sorry. I am very glad arrogant technicians exist because a lot of this money here came from us fixing MacBook Airs at $225 plus tax that other people, arrogant people, don't want to fix because it's one of those new pieces of shit. You know what? You keep telling people that, I'll keep taking in lots of money. Because that's what I like to do with my day. Take in lots of money. And anything that gets in the way of that, like arrogance, is an enemy of my repair shop, is an enemy of my company culture. I used to hear it a lot in the studio world with surface mount. That's a piece of shit because it uses surface mount hardware. It's not maintainable. Do you know how silly that sounds in 2013, where everything is surface mount, and where a $150 rework station can do a great job at replacing these chips? You're complaining about a chip that has 8 legs that's this big? Really? Because I have to work on things that are this big with 24 legs, and somehow I'm able to do it. So why are you complaining about that shit? I used to work at a place where the arrogance level was so high that people did nothing but grunt at each other. And I wish I could better verbalize how this worked. But they would just go, doesn't work. Piece of shit. Blah. He probably fucked it up. You probably didn't look at it right. Let me do it. I don't know what I'm doing. It's really nasty to work in those environments. And while I learned a lot while working in that environment, I quit after several months because I couldn't do it anymore. And I was apparently the first person to quit this place in something like 20 or 30 years over a personnel issue. Again, I like the place. I learned a lot, but I cannot be surrounded by that for 8 to 10 hours a day because that is then who I will become. And one of the things that I love about my business, that I love about my company, is that there is no arrogance here, and there's no arrogance allowed. If you make others feel worse about themselves, you gotta go. Nobody here from the people who know way more than I do are ever afraid for a second to admit that they don't know something or to pass a job on or to say, I don't know this, how do you do it? I don't mind admitting that I don't know something because it allows us an opportunity to learn. I don't feel bad for somebody for not understanding how something works. I'm not going to make fun of them. I'm not going to ridicule them. We're not going to ridicule them behind like, oh my gosh, they don't know X? Now, if I taught you X 80 times over the past 4 months, then I will yell and scream and pissed off about it. But I'm not going to make you feel dumb just because you don't know one thing or just because you don't know how one idea works. We don't have a clique here. We don't have little cliques of people that know certain things that then make them more important than others. Because I don't think that's a nice way to run a company. I don't think it's nice to exclude people based on arrogance. Let's use a real-world example. Somebody had their hard drive replaced, and there was an icon that wasn't showing up afterwards. This person was using a lot of negative talk to try to make me feel bad about this, and then followed up right afterwards with a discount. a discount request. How transparent. So there were a couple of ways I could have answered this. I could have taken the arrogant way out and said, no, that's not true. We gave you a newer operating system because it would work better with your machine. The new operating system doesn't have that icon on it. You don't really need that icon anymore. I told the truth. I said something that most technicians are scared to death to say. I said, I don't know. And when you say, I don't know, you get this one of several responses. You're like, what do you mean I don't know? Or, how? Like, this is what I pay you for. It's one of those stupid things where you just want to take a glass bottle and fucking shove it into their eye. Because when people do that, they're essentially saying, you don't deserve to make money. There's this idea that if you don't know every single detail about whatever particular field or discipline you're involved in, that you are not allowed to collect money from. That is an insecurity that only the worst form of human being will try to collect on. And this was one of those people. So instead of coming up with a bunch of bullshit, I responded very candidly. I said, well, in 5 years, I've advertised that I repair a plethora of problems. If your amplifier's output section is dead, I'll fix that. If you spill lemonade on your keyboard and your motherboard doesn't work, I'll fix that. If your operating system is corrupt, I'll fix that. If you need your data recovered, I'll fix that. But I never thought to advertise if this one silly little particular icon is not showing up on your desktop, I'll fix that. And unfortunately, that also coincides with the fact that I don't know how this particular feature of OS X works. So I've never encountered this problem. But if you'd like, I can look up how to fix this problem, and it would take me about 1 to 2 days. But no, I don't know how every single feature of OS X works right off of the top of my head. It's just that. I don't have to be arrogant to pretend I know everything. I can explain in an honest and humble fashion that these are the things, the problems that people come in with. These are the problems that I know how to fix. I don't know anything about this one particular problem, but I'll figure it out. Instead of just going on some rant of bullshit or doing the opposite, which is, oh, well, I just don't know because I just don't know, here's your discount. Fuck that. You don't need to be arrogant in order to get your point across. Arrogance may get the annoying customer out of the door, but confidence keeps the client in the door. You want to keep clients coming back, and as I've explained in other videos, clients are people who will be here regardless of your cost, regardless of your convenience. Clients are the people that you want to keep, and you keep clients by being humble and honest and confident. Real people, real clients are people who are okay with hearing that you don't know something. Say it with confidence because it's the truth, and the truth is a good thing. You'll also see arrogance when it comes to vendor relationships or repair shops buying parts. You'll have an arrogant technician who knows it all and wants to challenge everything. Like, how dare this person come in here? We'll see what they know. Or, oh, they want to sell us parts? Let's see how they are. And they'll slam it into the phone. It won't fit in the phone right because they're just beating it in there. And they'll say that this one part doesn't work. And then they'll complain about it. Then they'll try the second one, and the second one will actually not work because when you buy 100 parts, you're probably going to get one defect. And they'll send a 3-page email. The supplier is not going to want to deal with them after reading this 3-page email, and will wonder why in God's name they got a wholesale discount to begin with. And they'll just play musical suppliers. And you'll notice there are certain companies I'm not going to name that play musical suppliers because they piss everybody else off, and then nobody wants to do business with them. And then they have to go back and reconcile. It's a cycle. And then you have it on the parts vendor end, where they'll get parts back and they'll test 2 or 3 of the returns from a company, and the guy will see that they work. He's not really going to see if the touchscreen works. He's not going to see if there may be a problem with the frame. He may not even check for stuck pixels. He just plugs it in and sees a picture. He's like, works, and then goes, these people are idiots. Look at all the returns they have. They're fucking idiots. Oh man, this stupid company. I can't even believe they get paid to fix things. Because he's forgetting 2 things. The first is that, A, as the person who's getting paid $15 an hour to work in a returns department, you should be very, very thankful you have a job. Because this is an unskilled job that you don't have to go to college for, that you can make a living on, just testing returns. How dare you go off on some arrogant, sanctimonious rants about people who are out there keeping you in business. Fuck you. Complaining about all of this nonsense. Secondly, you forget what it's like to be a repair shop. Repair shops are too busy taking in 20 to 30 tickets a day between 1 to 2 people to make sure that every single return is actually paid. That's what you are there for. The lazy fuck who sits there getting paid to do nothing but test returns. Third, you're not testing every part of this return. You're just plugging in and going, good, good, good. Are you testing the touchscreen? Are you looking for a stuck pixel? Are you looking at the frame? Are you keeping it on for 4 seconds to see if it flickers? No, you're just being a dickhead. And I guarantee you there's somebody like this at every fucking parts company that has a returns department. Arrogance exists everywhere. You can find it in every aspect of your life. And there's one thing that it has in common, regardless of whether it's in your personal life, in a repair shop, in a supply company, in a restaurant, it is always poisonous, and it always makes people annoyed and feel bad for being around you. Don't be arrogant. There are ways to get through life without being arrogant. Remember, arrogance gets rid of the annoying customer, but it does not keep the loyal client.